I'm putting on an apron because you know I mean business today. Ugh. Today we're making the best cinnamon rolls ever. They're gooey, they're soft, they're just so darn delicious. Honestly, Cinnabon, you better watch out. I'm gonna take you out of business. Now, if I sound a little sick, it's because I am. But whenever you're sick, you need to make cinnamon rolls. I feel like that's the cure for any sickness. And if you're new here, welcome to the family, welcome to class. Well, actually, why are you late to class? Where have you been? Why haven't you been here? But today I'm gonna be sharing all my secrets to making the best cinnamon rolls. And the best part is, they're so easy. I'm lazy, you're lazy. No offense. We're lazy together, so this recipe is perfect. So without further ado, let's get started. Now the ingredients for cinnamon rolls are super simple. Most of it is pretty standard and you're gonna have them at your house. But you're gonna need sugar, eggs, butter, milk, buttermilk, yes, they're two different, salt, yeast, butter, vanilla, cinnamon, flour, everything you have. This is yeast, if you've never heard of it before. I prefer instant quick rise yeast by Red Star. The only reason we're using instant is because I'm lazy. It's literally that. That's the only reason. I'm lazy and I'm impatient. This gives us a quick rise. If you don't have it, you could use regular yeast, but I highly recommend it. You could get it at any grocery store. Quick rise yeast. But let's get started. And as always, the ingredients will be listed in the description box. First up, flour. And of course I don't have it out, oh my God. We need 6 cups of all-purpose flour. 1 cup, you can see I'm making sure it's level. I like to fluff out my flour too, this way I know it's not overpacked. To that, we're gonna add in some salt. Just 1.5 teaspoons, nothing crazy. We're also gonna add in our yeast, and because we're using instant yeast, you can add it right into your dry ingredients. You don't have to worry about blooming it, you don't have to worry about any of that nonsense. We're lazy, get it. We're gonna do 2¼ teaspoons of yeast, AKA 1 packet. We're gonna add in a 1/3 cup of granulated white sugar. You know, we want a nice sweet dough. I know there's a lot of cinnamon roll recipes out there. I know it. None of them come close to this one. In my opinion, a cinnamon roll should not be bready. I do not want bread. I don't want it to taste like bread. If I did, I would eat a piece of bread. I want this to be a sweet dough that's like gooey and, you know? Okay, whatever, case closed. We're gonna mix together the dry ingredients. Again, flour, yeast, salt, and sugar, that's it. I'm using measuring spoon, you should probably use a whisk. Now we're gonna set this aside. So grab your milk. We have 1 cup of whole milk and 1/2 cup of buttermilk. You wanna combine them, and we're gonna warm this in the microwave till it reaches 110 degrees. Now, if you don't have a thermometer, completely okay. All you're gonna do is after it's warm, put it in like 30 seconds to a minute, put your finger in, put it on your wrist, just like you would a baby. It should be pretty warm, not burning hot, but you should feel the warmth. You know, just like you would a baby. Treat your yeast like a baby. I'm back. So you can see the milk kind of separates a little. That's totally fine. Put it on your wrist. It's warm. Warm to hot. You don't want it to be burning, otherwise you'll burn your yeast. If the milk was too cold, your yeast wouldn't rise, which is not what we want. So now grab your flour mixture, and to this we're gonna add in our milk. Beautiful. We're also gonna add in some melted butter, 6 tablespoons to be exact. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, maybe a little bit more. We're also gonna add in 2 eggs and 1 egg yolk. Boop. No shell. And we're gonna add in 1 egg yolk, so separate the egg. The eggs should be at room temperature. Mine are a little cold. Whoops. Now slowly mix this together. You should use like a spatula. I can't find mine, so I'm just gonna use my hands. Eventually, you're gonna have to mix this with your hands anyways. It should come together as a ball. Now, if you want to, you could totally use a stand mixer. It would actually make this process so much easier, so much less messy. But you know, sometimes I don't want to take out the stand mixer. Or I know a lot of people don't own a stand mixer, so I want to show that it's that simple. You don't need one. You don't need the fancy gadgets. We're gonna flip this onto our surface. Boom, just like that. And we're gonna start kneading it. You want everything to come together as one. It should be a nice, smooth dough. Now, if you've never worked with bread before, it can be really finicky. Meaning sometimes you need more flour. Sometimes you might not need any more flour. So in the recipe, you'll notice it says 6 to 6.5 cups of flour. Now, you may have to add in half a cup of flour. You may not have to. It really depends on the humidity, the weather, the heat, the type of like milk. Sometimes the yeast is just extra, like I can already feel this and I'm not gonna need any more flour. You know you have the right consistency when it's slightly tacky, but it's workable. It should not be hard to work with. It should not be like a goopy mess. But your dough should also not be overly dry. A dry dough means a dry bread. We don't want that. So you can see it's starting to come together, but it's really, it's not smooth. It's not pretty. This is where we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it for about 8 minutes. Yes, it's a long time. Yes, it's necessary. Good luck. And if you never kneaded before, all you're gonna do is take the palm of your hands, push, fold. Push, fold. Push, fold. I'm putting like my body weight into it. This way it makes it super easy. And again, if you need to use extra flour, by all means, dust your surface, dust your hands. So you can see the dough is much smoother than what we started with. This is exactly what we're looking for. A smooth, come together dough. You can see it's slightly tacky, but I can touch it without any problem. We're gonna now grab a bowl, grease it with some cooking spray, and we're gonna add in the dough. We're gonna let it rise. I like to flip it and then flip it back. And we're gonna let it rise for about an hour and a half or until it doubles in size. So good night, say good night. Okay, so it's been 90 minutes and you can see the dough rise beautifully. It's doubled in size. So now what we wanna do is punch it. Boom. Just like that, and we're gonna now fold it out of the bowl. It smells delicious. And now we're just gonna let this sit out just for a little while we work on the filling. So I'm just gonna cover it up so it doesn't dry out. We're gonna let that chill. It needs a little moment. We just punched it in its face. The filling is super simple. I'm just gonna use the same bowl. We're gonna add in 1 stick of softened butter. Boom. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You always, always, always need vanilla. Cinnamon, duh. Justin, what if I don't like cinnamon? Get out of the class, detention. 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I like to do a lot, so a little bit more wouldn't hurt. And we need some brown sugar, a cup of brown sugar. Make sure it's nice and packed. Boom, boom, boom. You could do light or dark, whatever you prefer. I normally use light brown sugar. Boom, a cup. And, you know, oh, that was a lot more. Not that much more, but a little sprinkling extra wouldn't hurt. And now this is gonna sound really weird, but I like to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. Now I learned this trick from Teeny, who learned it from her friend, I believe, but I feel like it just enhances the cinnamon flavor. You don't wanna do a lot. Like, this is not vanilla extract. You do not wanna do more than a 1/4 teaspoon. You don't have it, completely okay, but it does taste delicious. And now we're just gonna mix this all together. Essentially, we're creating a paste. Now, I prefer to create the paste as opposed to doing melted butter and all that nonsense because A, this is way easier and cleaner. B, I feel like it melts together better. For whatever reason, when it touches that oven, it just comes together in such a better taste, consistency. I highly recommend doing it this way. I use salted butter. If you don't have salted butter, you could just add in some salt, perfectly fine. Salt just balances out the flavor so nothing's too sweet. And you could adjust it to your preference. You could even give it a little. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Boom. Now when we're rolling out cinnamon rolls, there's no particular technique, but you need a rolling pin and you need some flour. I like to dust my surface very lightly with flour. This just prevents sticking. You don't wanna do too much, because again, we don't want dry cinnamon rolls. And I first like to start with my hands. I like to poke the dough. This just gets rid of the air bubbles there might be, anything like that. And then we're gonna start rolling out with our rolling pin. Roll it out. Turn, roll. Now you can see the dough likes to spring back. You just gotta keep rolling and rolling. So this looks great. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. We're now gonna take our cinnamon filling. Again, look how delicious that looks. And we're gonna sprinkle it all over. Taking off the spatula, we're just gonna spread it out so it's nice and even. If your butter is a little bit firm, like mine is, it might not spread as easily. So I'm kind of just gonna use my hands to press it down. You just wanna make sure the cinnamon filling is even throughout. And it's important to leave a border of about 1 inch or so. Ta-da! Now I like to be extra and sprinkle on a little bit of sugar, a little bit more, because I like mine sweet. This is completely optional. And of course, a little bit of cinnamon. And now we're gonna roll it up. When you roll, you wanna make sure it's as tight as possible, and you start from the long side, and all you do, kind of like a typewriter motion, you just pull back and roll. I understand there's no filling over here. We're gonna cut it off anyways. You wanna do this so the filling doesn't leak out when you roll. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And the tighter your roll, the nicer your cinnamon roll will be. And then you have this little piece. Use a little bit of water on this piece just to secure it when we fold it over. And we're just gonna fold it over, and the water should help pinch it together so it's a nice seal. Isn't it perfect? It's like a giant burrito. This is the burrito I want. So now what we're gonna do is cut the cinnamon rolls. You could either use floss or a very, very sharp knife, whatever you prefer. And I like to cut off the ends first. This is why we cut off the ends. You can see there's very little cinnamon roll. You can still bake it, but it's not much filling. To get even rolls, I like to first cut it in half. Oh my God. Do you see that? Do you see that? And then I cut each one in half again. Boom, boom. And then I cut each one in half again. You could do smaller cinnamon rolls if you prefer. There we go. Here we go. Uh-oh. Tell me that's not perfect. Tell me that's not perfect. Ain't nobody touching me. Okay, grab a pan. Grease the pan a little bit. And we're gonna place the cinnamon rolls in the pan. Now you kind of want them somewhat close together. This way it rises nicely. Isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful. Now I don't have, my pan's not big enough for the rest of them. Well, maybe I can fit one more. Okay, we can fit one more. But this is what it looks like. Now before you get too excited, we do have to let them rest one more time for about 45 minutes or until it becomes puffy and a little bit double in size. They're kind of needy, I know. Now if you wanted to, you can make this in the morning. Hold on, hold on. So this is what I do every Christmas. So Christmas Eve, I make this, I stop at this stage. Now what I would do is plastic wrap this tray very tightly and throw it in the refrigerator. Now you could refrigerate these overnight, and in the morning, all you have to do is bake, and they wake up, your children wake up to fresh cinnamon rolls. So you have a choice right now. Do you want to wrap these up, put them in the fridge, and bake them tomorrow? Or do you want to bake them tonight? Completely up to you, your choice. Either way it's delicious, either way gets great results. Today, I'm gonna wait 30 minutes because I'm hungry. I'm hungry. The cinnamon rolls have risen. We're gonna cover it in about 2/3 cup of heavy cream. This is just gonna keep the rolls nice and soft. Bake it in a preheated oven at 325 degrees for about 30 minutes or until it's golden brown. So while the cinnamon rolls are in the oven baking, I'm gonna show you guys how to make an easy cream cheese frosting. You need cream cheese frosting on your cinnamon rolls. Don't get me started. 8 ounces of cream cheese. We're just gonna put it in a bowl. You wanna make sure it's softened. It's important that you make the frosting while the cinnamon rolls are in the oven because you wanna frost cinnamon rolls while they are warm. It will make all the difference. We're gonna add in about 1 cup of powdered sugar. You can adjust this to your preference if you prefer sweeter or less sweet frosting. We're gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. Again, you could adjust it based on your desired consistency. Also add in vanilla extract. You already knew I was going to do that. We're gonna add in a 1/2 stick of butter just to bring everything together. And you're gonna give this a really good mix. I don't think my cream cheese was at room temperature. Uh-oh, it's okay, just keep mixing. This is what it should look like, creamy and smooth and yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, it's so good. Do you see this? Is it or better say, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And the best part is I don't have to share with anyone. I can eat this whole thing and not feel guilty. It's time. Oh my God. It's soft and gooey, cinnamony. It literally, oh, we did it again. We did it again. Oh my God. It literally tastes just like a Cinnabon, but better. I don't know how it gets better, but better. It's not too sweet. The cream cheese balances all the flavors, the texture. And like I said, this is not a bready cinnamon roll. If you're looking for bread, get out of here. This is for the dessert lovers. This is for the gooey lovers. This is for the people who love the middle of a cinnamon roll. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and most importantly, this recipe. I want to see you guys make this for the holidays. Your children will love you. You're gonna love yourself even more. I gotta finish all these cinnamon rolls before my sister gets here. So peace and stay tuned for the next video. Adios. Did you see that? Did you see that?